Hey, all you peeps out there, big shout out. I miss you guys. I've been seeing around left, right, and sideways like some videos of some MC roll calls and stuff like that. Zay, just big shout out. Love the deb. Uh, so, I wanted to talk to you guys this week about, for this week's MCP newsletter, talking about that idea of management practice. Because I think like one of the key conversations that we were having today as a wrap up part of transition was that idea that, yeah, a lot of times our structure is clear. Yeah, we understand the structure, or sometimes more or less some people think they know their GDs or not know their GDs. But one key thing that is extremely important for you to understand is how does that structure transform in a day-to-day basis into a functional working dynamic. And I think that was one of the key things that we were talking about today over throughout the morning period, and then in the same time try to start coupling that up with some of the concrete practices that are being used out there that have a certain method that enables you as a leader or enables you as an MCP to be able to not only identify what is your team code, because we usually do that all the time, right? We go into planning, we identify team code or behaviors, etc., all that fantastic beautiful stuff, which is most of the time qualitative. But the key question there was, how can we, or how do we want to see that practice on a day-to-day behavior level in our working style? In the same time, how can we track it or be able to say, yes, we've been doing this or we have not been doing this? And so automatically we'd be able to incentivize and reward the people that are being coherent or that are being consistent with that kind of behavior that we want to see or not. Because it's very, very easy for us to start like looking at strategy. Yes, that's beautiful. Then you link the strategy to structure and then you think that the job is done. But in our suit or in our day-to-day job, it is really important for us to understand how do we transform these things into a working dynamic that is functional and that enable our teams to be able to progress and move forward. So that's my shout out for you guys for this week. You're gonna find below in the email a very interesting read initially that I came through, which was from the Chief People's Officer of Google, and then later on transformed into a booklet and then transformed into a practice, and has a lot of open source tools that are super fantastic. Don't be lazy. Remember to tailor. Don't just take things just the way they are, because this is what beautiful, fantastic companies are doing out there. At the end of the day, you do belong to a fantastic organization. So it's still worth you tailoring it so it can fit our shoes one way or another. If you want to have a chat about that anytime, feel free to reach out. If you have some thoughts on how that can be implemented on a practical level, feel free to reach out. A lot of love. Keep it real from the AI office. See you next week.